I love the visuals in the film, a bit of sensory overload, but how important do you guys think it is to watch this kind of film in a great movie theater? How important is the big screen experience?
I mean, I think it's immensely important. You know, I think it's important to see, for my money, any film that you can, to go see it in the cinema, but especially a film that is such a spectacle. I think you miss out on a lot if you watch it on a computer or you watch it at home, or I mean, you're still going to get a lot from it.
Yeah, there are elements. Look, there's a great story in this.
Yeah.
So if you're watching it on your phone and listening on headphones, you're still going to get that good story element. But, you know, watching a T-Rex come out of a paddock on your phone isn't the same as watching a T-Rex come out of a paddock on a giant screen.
Right.
And, you know, there are certain... You'll only get one part of the movie on a small screen, but if you watch it on the big screen with the real full sound and everything, it just becomes so much more of an immersive experience, and you'll see so much more. You know, it's a different movie, and one you have to see in the cinema.
Now, you, I gather, were the on-set expert, being the die-hard gamer.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they came to you too often, did they?
No. This was the thing. Like, yes, I was the on-set expert, as it were, but I never wanted to go around giving people tips, like, because it's not relevant. You know, like, I understood the world of Warcraft, but at the same time, you know, having not played the game doesn't affect anybody's ability to play these characters, because we are taking two-dimensional characters and making them 4D. That's our entire remit in this job. So, you know, people would come to me occasionally and ask me for a pronunciation or the history of that character, and I would be able to explain. But I never wanted to be the guy saying, Duncan. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be him.
It was never like unsolicited. It was always very, just supportive. It felt comfortable. It was nice having Rob on set because you could bounce ideas off of him and ask him how to pronounce things.
There obviously is a legion of fans out there. To what degree?
Only 100 million or so.
Only 100 million. Yeah, it's kind of that's what they call a built-in audience.
Right.
How far does this film go to indulge and satisfy that 100 million, you think?
Duncan was very diligent about being faithful to the mythology of the game and the mythology of the canon, and it's so layered and it's so rich and it's so textured. You know, the game is a phenomenon for a reason, and so I think now taking the mythology of the game into a more of a mainstream medium, it's there's not a whole lot. You know, there's really no reason not to be faithful to the game and not to. Because I think it will appeal both to hardcore gamers and people who have never even heard of it.
It's very hard to make a good video game movie, you know, and most video games don't translate well to film. So it just becomes about telling a good story and making a good movie. And if we make a good movie, which is what we've done, then you end up appeasing people like me and people like Ben. You know, it gives you the access point of saying, I know this world and I love it. And it gives you the access point of saying, what's this? This is wonderful. So, appeasing a built-in audience is great, and we do that. But to do that right, we just had to make a great film that everyone can love.
Right. What was the process like with the costumes and motion capture and things like that, and being immersed in a high-tech environment, and then your reaction when you saw it on a big screen? It
was thrilling being able to be in the middle of it and being on set with it all. It was overwhelming seeing the finished product. You know, it's a big leap of faith when you're working with a lot of CGI elements, and obviously we know we're in great hands with Bill Westenhofer and with the people at ILM, but it's and also obviously with Duncan, but you're kind of, you know, flying blind every now and then, and so seeing it all put together was just remarkable. You know, there are times where a lot is left up to the imagination on set, and you got a whole crew standing around waiting for you to cast a spell, and you're just trusting that it's all going to get, you know, the dots are going to get connected in post-production, and then you see it, and it was overwhelming. You know, it's you were saying before, it's like you see a scene, you're like, I remember shooting that scene.
This is a different movie.
But it's so different. Like any other movie you do, you're watching it, and then you're reliving the experience you had of making it. Whereas with this, there's a separation because so much of the film is filled in
It's
the
like
incredible
it's like
VFX team.
we were a seed, and then there's this whole
Yes.
tree to look at. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And it's a pretty astonishing thing to see on screen.
Yeah.